Hello, let's go through the worksheet on angles together. There are two ways of naming angles. One is by putting a small letter against the angle that is given. So for this example, a lowercase x is placed next to the angle. Another way of labeling an angle is with regards to three letters, uppercase. Now the three letters is made up of two lines that actually come together to form the angle. You realize that this angle over here is formed from line XY and line YZ. So line XY will be represented by the first two letters on the naming of the angle, and line YZ is represented by the second and the third letters as you name the angle. So this angle is angle XYZ. We can also name this angle ZYX. Okay, so I would put this down as angle ZYX as well. Now let's take a look at the questions that follow. For this, they ask you to name the following marked angles in the figure below. This angle over here is made up of two lines, AB and BC. So in order to mark this angle, this is referred to as angle. Okay, so it starts from line AB, right? So the first two letters of the angle will be AB, and the other line that makes up the angle is BC. So this is angle ABC. This other angle over here is formed by two lines, BC and CD. So I will write down as angle BCD. Hence this is the second angle. Now, moving on. Name the following marked angles in the figure below. So this angle here is made up of two lines, line TU and line UW. So this angle over here, I will mark it as angle TUW. Next, the second angle in the question is made up of two lines, YX and XW. So I can label this angle as angle YXW. Of course, you can choose to turn the letters around to write it as angle WXY. That's fine as well. Let's move on to the following question. The next question, they ask you to name the marked angles as well. This first angle over here is formed by two lines, AC and CB. So we will label this as angle ACB. This angle over here is made up of which two lines? ED and DC. So EDC. That's how we label it. Moving on. This angle here is made up of lines AE and EB. So this angle over here, I'll label it as angle AEB. AEB. Could I name this as angle AEC as well? Yes, that's possible. So there could be more than one answer. Okay. This other angle is formed with lines BD and DC. So this is angle BDC. Next, WXY. We have to learn to mark the angles now. So WXY refers to this angle over here or the angle outside. Okay, so there are two answers. You can choose to label this the obtuse angle or the other angle, the wider one, which is a reflex angle. Either answer is correct. Angle UTW would refer to this angle here, acute one, or it could be the reflex angle. We can't be sure because the question did not refer what kind of an angle it is. So both answers are acceptable. Next, mark angle UYT. So UYT refers to this angle. UWZ, okay, it refers to this wide angle over here. Following that, angle AFE, AFE refers to this. EBC, EBC, that will be this angle. Next. Now I would like to go on to measuring angles. We will make use of a protractor to help us. So if you remember, the center of the protractor is always put against the sharp point, the vertex of the angle. And from here, if you read up from the inner scale, it's 25 degrees. Next. The angle spans from here all the way up. So we read from the inner scale again, all the way up, we get 130 degrees. Let's refer to C and D now. C. Realize that the line is kind of short. So one way that we can use to help ourselves is to lengthen the line that is given us. And from here, we could see that there's about 85 degrees. D. Here we read from the outer scale. Can't quite read, so let me do an extension of the line. It's about 57 degrees. Next. Angle ABC is the obtuse angle. Read from the inner scale, and it reads 140 degrees. Lastly, angle XYZ. We could turn the paper around, or if you are able to read from another position like this, we could read from the outer scale. This is about, can't quite read it. Let me do an extension of the line. This is about 81 degrees. Oh, did I read the wrong scale? Looks like I did. Okay, it's supposed to be from the outer scale. So this is 100 degrees. Okay, there you go. Next. Now we move on to this page where ABC is a straight line. We want to measure ABD and CBD with a protractor. Here, I'm going to place the protractor, the center of the protractor here, and I am going to measure two angles at the same time. So when I measure both angles at the same time, the angle over here that is leaning to the left, I will be using the outer scale, and that will give me about 48 degrees. Okay. Now, in order to read the other scale, what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to move the protractor, but I'm going to read from the inner scale, and that will give me 132 degrees. Okay. And when I add both together, I will get 180 degrees. Next question. We have another straight line. We have to measure the two angles that make up the straight line. So first angle, I'm going to measure from the outer scale. That makes 70 degrees. And the other one will be from here. That will be from the inner scale. 110 degrees. So both adds up to 180 degrees. Next. Now the line is like this. Remember to place the center of the protractor here at the intersection of both lines. And I will start finding out angle EFH. Okay, this angle over here. So I will start reading from the inner scale, and I will get about 74 degrees, about 74. Okay, I don't move the protractor. Now I read from the outer scale, and I get 106 degrees. Both angles add up, it gives me 180 degrees. So from this page, we can see that if I have angles that are drawn on a straight line, they actually add up to 180 degrees. Next. Now we have a square. We want to measure the angles that make up one side of the square. So measure angle DCE and angle ECB. We know that this is a right angle, right? So no matter how we measure both angles, it should add up to 90 degrees. So let's take a look and see. From the outer scale, DCE will be 52 degrees. Okay, and let's measure the other angle. I get 38 degrees. Both adds up to be 90. Second one, angle DCE first. I get 33 degrees. Angle ECB, I'm going to turn the protractor around, or you could turn the paper around. And I start measuring, I get 57 degrees. So both add up to be 90 degrees. Third angle, DCA, the one at the bottom. Now we deal with a rectangle. Right, this is straightforward. This is 30 degrees. And the other angle, I get about 62. Oh, did I make a mistake? Let's see. It's about 29, 28 degrees. Okay, so I made a mistake, yes. Let's read the other angle. Yes, 62. So both adds up to be 90 degrees.